Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing really good. I wanted to touch on the subject if you don't have Roku service and you have a Roku TV and you're still online, but your analog channels or local channels quit working, don't do a factory reset. Maybe see how long you get your Wi Fi through them because without that service, if you do the factory reset, nothing on your TV will work again until you bow to their money terms, which I refuse to do because I've had televisions for 20 years or more. People that take care of their things have stuff for a very long time. So I'll probably just end up getting like a HMDI cable and hook it up to my laptop and watch YouTube or whatever I want to do right on this one. So, um, yeah, I was pretty disgusted for a while, but okay, that's enough on that Roku. So, anybody else, if that's all you wanted to hear, I'm saying hi and bye. Thank you for stopping in. Everybody else, my regular subs, I've got some stuff and information I've got that I want to put out about the King James and some verses about what Christ says about Satan and keeping him out of our heads and whatnot. But um, uh, and whether or not we should address him as your Majesty. He used to be eminence, and perhaps he will be again, but he didn't fall. He got pushed. The wording the wording in the Bible is disturbing to me because they don't go back to the base language of Aramaic. So there's no way that they could get the spiritual information that we need to conduct our lives. We can only go with what's in our hearts and what's in our souls from there. So um, I'll probably call this video uh, something like don't do a factory reset, or Roku, don't do a factory reset without their service. And hello to my friends, So just telling you what's up. I spent, a couple days setting things up and getting it right again so I could get a couple channels, and then I've been using my little phone and hooked my speaker bar up to it so I could hear that. And I can still play my music off of YouTube if I um, want through my little phone. It's not as loud, but then I've got a big system in the living room I unhooked because it was getting kind of loud at strange times. So I might hook it back up, but it makes the whole house shake. I just love it because we've got some sort of, um, well, I like some of my neighbors, and some of them need to hear some rock and roll every once in a while. I guess I'll just put it like that. So, yeah, I might be hooking it back up. We'll just have to see. Today was rather upsetting for Doug's. There was trucks running up and down our dirt road, way over the speed limit like twice. And he went out there and talked to some of them, and then he called the guy that owns the company and told him, you better slow it down. He said, or he's going to use them for target practice, but whatever. Then I thought he was yelling at them over the phone, and I've got my signal meter going on in here trying to adjust my antenna, and he was yelling in at me, and I didn't hear him, so he walked out of the house all ugh. So it's just been kind of a yuck day around here. But then I got on Facebook, and my daughter-in-law sent me a picture of all three of my granddaughters sitting eating. It said healthy snacks on there, so that was good to see, and they're so beautiful. It's like, yeah, I can see both the parents in them, and I think life is so remarkable when, especially when two people love each other. I mean, me myself, I call myself a bastardette because hey, I'm a bastard, whatever. But and I can show you that side too if you'd like. No. But anyway, no, when two people love each other and they make a child, or even if they don't, life is like entirely incredible. Just being human, our eyes, you know, everything, our lungs, the way everything works like a machine, it's like totally incredible, you know. I'll touch on something else. These people that think that human beings are like we're robotoids or something, it's far more miraculous than any robotics for real because the biology of the whole thing. I mean, just if you look at a blood cell, and I do have to get into that someday, the rod of what I call the rod of Christ that can just shut down your heart with the electronics within it. The three major parts of a blood cell that is comprised inside one tiny little cell of life is just incredible. I do believe that's what gives us the ability to literally feel other people if we're in tune like that, So, yeah, or open to that. Some people aren't. Some people try not to be open to me, but I get in there anyway. So, yeah, I do. Watch. I have this way about me God gave me. It's like, if you want to hate me, that's okay. I can be mean too, but I still won't hate you, you know. But I do like being mean. You know, there's another thing I'll touch on too. If somebody's mean, is that righteous anger or does that belong to Satan? Well, therein lies the question of hatred versus anger. And then I go back to a saying that I heard a long time ago. It makes perfect sense. Only dogs get mad, people get angry. So, anyway, but there's no way in hell I'll ever address Satan as your majesty. I might call him something else, but it isn't going to be a place of honor. Now, when he's done doing his job and God says, okay, you've done enough to pay for the crap you put us all through, well, then that day may come where I'll say, hey, good job, old man, but that's not going to happen right now. I believe there's people who actually feel that, and that's okay. That's a good way for them to understand the part that they personally played in maybe the demise or unhappiness of somebody else. So the sins that we've put out there towards other people, our thoughts or whatever it may be, it comes back on us by virtue, by way of Satan. So, anyway, so I got some scriptures I'm going to be throwing out here, but time hasn't been right and my mood hasn't been the right, hasn't been right. I would have to really see before I'm going to really speak about something that's spiritual for the whole world. I'm gonna, well, which I am in a sense anyway, and I pray, I pray on a daily basis. It's a second by second thing, you know what I'm saying? It's like your walk with God. It's, He's sitting in your temple, unless somebody else is. So, and to me, somebody thinks it's a 50-50 situation, like half Satan and half God inside a person. Starting out that way, perhaps, but everybody's innocent. You get to that point where you know the difference between right and wrong, then you have a 50-50 chance. If you're walking the right path the straight and narrow, keeping your nose clean. It's more like maybe 80-20 on a rotten day. On a good day, 99%, that's that 1%. That's where you get the one percenters. Literally keeping your mind clean of all baloney. And listen, I'll stick to that angry thing. If I'm going to be angry, I'm going to be angry, and that's not Satan's because I've been angry at him. So is that his? No, not at all. But I'll tell you what, when somebody I care about or I see somebody hurting and I know that's of that bad entity, well, first off, he's not getting a good job well done. And you will get my anger, Satan. That's all I got to say. Anybody thinking there is no God and there is no Satan, and yes, they dwell within our blood. That's the spirit in our blood. Our thoughts that aren't ours. I mean, we know who we are, but we also know when there's stuff coming in, you know, and people can be used in that area too. So, but there's still either good or bad. There's not an in between, you know. So we favor one part of the scale or the other, you know, if you see what I'm saying. So it's no way in hell I'm 50% of that crap or ever have it. So anyway, that's my synopsis on that. End of my day. So I'm going to let y'all go. I appreciate you joining me. And if you have any questions or debate, I mean, I'll debate or answer something, but I'm pretty much stuck in my ways. And from what I've read and what was shared with me a long time ago, literally going into a Blue Lodge and having Jesuits jeopardize their life to help other people out here to say, hey, you know, this was changed, that was changed. We have to read things with our heart. We can't just read or hear something and say, well, yeah, we could say that makes sense. But if something's written and they're pushing it on us, we really got to ask ourselves why. Why? I mean, words of goodness and the 10 Commandments, 7 deadly sins, things that thoroughly make sense in this world from keeping you and me safe from each other, you know, that type of thing. That's absolute fact and good rules to live by, whether you have God in your heart or not. So, anyway, like I say, thank you for joining me, and I'll be back soon. I love you all. Peace. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.